Fellow Nigerians, the stage is set. The election tribunal is ready to start the proceedings as regards to the election petitions that have been filed. And we all are optimistic. We are hopeful. We are staying positive, that our judges are going to render justice to the petitions before them. Nigeria is at the brink of collapse. Nigeria is at the brink of falling apart. We call on the judiciary to uphold this democracy that people pay dearly for. We want them to ensure that they are not partisans. We want them to ensure that they are not aligning with our politicians. We want them to ensure that they are not going to compromise this process, because we want them to come with clean hands. So guys, people are lending their voices. When you go to the social media, you see people making videos and calling on the judiciary to ensure that justice is served. And I tell you, this our mommy is not left behind. She's calling on the judiciary to ensure that our democracy does not end at their hand. Just listen to this.
Rule of law has been a very difficult time for us as a country, and we have come together recognizing our historical responsibility as those who fought for the return of our country back to democracy, to walk up and stand in good conscience and declare again that our democracy must be rules-based. We cannot run a country where the democracy is based on arbitrariness. So we need to return to those very fundamental rules in our Constitution, in the Electoral Act, in the laws, norms, and values and ethos of our country that define what it is to be a democratic country. The labor union represents the ethos of democracy, and so do we in the civil society. So in good conscience and in remembrance of the many comrades before that fought to stand up for this democracy, we have come together in oneness of voice with labor to speak again at a time like this for our country. Our country is indeed facing quite a lot of challenges post the last elections. It is our desire, our hope, and our urging to see that the institutions that represent democratic governance rebuild this democracy and ensure that it stands. We call on the judiciary, particularly as we move into the space of conflict resolution, to address the crisis of our democracy and to restore our country and its values back to dignity.
So guys, ironically, Wike has come out to commend INEC. He's telling INEC that the use of beavers really helped to reduce electoral malpractices and other acts of violence, associated with election. He is praising INEC for a job well done. And he didn't even talk about his role during this election in Rivers State. Please just take a look at this.
If for nothing, Nigerians will commend INEC that they reduce the level of violence, the level of death. Because without these beavers, before we were fighting with security agencies, they were carrying electoral materials, hijack electoral officials. But now it's difficult. Whom are you carrying? If you carry the beavers, what do? You cannot do anything with it. So, no matter the inadequacies, you will see that there's an improvement as far as reducing violence, which is key. But because our electoral process has always been killing, hijacking of materials, using security, but with the introduction of the beavers, no matter the shortcoming that it did not work optimally as we expected. But you can say we have moved on from stage 1 to stage 2. We also believe, with encouragement of government, that in the next general election, they will do better. there was a time they were doing in America where the recount, Florida recount. Yes, Florida recount. As sophisticated as they were, there was still some manipulation. So nobody can say that there's any system that is flawless. No. The only problem we have in our own system, even when people are found to be guilty, they appear not to be sanctioned, not to be punishment, to be a deterrent for others. That's the only difference. But as for whether any system is perfect, certainly not.
So guys, I want you to take a look at this comedian known as She. He has come out to say that he's the most hated comedian for supporting Bola Tinubu, as in that people hate him now so much because he supported Bola Tinubu, but he's not regretting his decision. Just listen to this.
Your Excellencies, good evening. I thought if nobody will clap for me, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Oyo State, will clap for me. Because I remember in 2019, when I attended his 50th birthday, I predicted and I told him he was going to be the next governor of Oyo State. So you can clap for me again now. Thank you. Your Excellency, the President-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because I supported you, I became the most hated Nigerian celebrity. But notwithstanding, I stood my ground because I believe in you. I remember in 1998, before democracy in Nigeria, in 1998, there was...
So guys, some people think supporting Peter Obi is all about tribe. It's not all about tribe or ethnicity. We just need somebody to rescue Nigeria. Honestly, we are not considering people's ethnicity. We don't want to know whether you are from the north or from the south. We don't want to know whether you are a Yoruba man, an Igbo man, or even an Hausa man. We just want Nigeria to move forward. We just want somebody who has some level of credibility, who has some level of character, a man we can trust. We just need somebody to take us from where we are today and, to ensure that Nigeria progresses. That is just our interest. So when people come to say that you supported a man and then you are hated and you don't regret your stand, it's as if there is a sentiment attached to it. It's not all about sentiment. We are not looking at religion or ethnicity. We just want Nigeria to survive. We want Nigeria to move ahead. And that is why I keep telling the youths who are still supporting the APC and the PDP, let them have a rethink. Let them have a rethink. This country has suffered enough, as in Nigeria has suffered enough. Nigeria should be competing with countries like Rwanda. Nigeria should be competing with countries like, South Africa and other countries like that which are doing well in Africa. Nigeria should really be, the giant of Africa it is meant to be. So guys, I think we have outgrown this stage. Let's think about a new Nigeria where we all will feel belong. A new Nigeria where the son of Mr. Nobody can become somebody without even knowing anybody. That is what we want. So guys, here are some of the latest happening on the social media platform. Take your time and watch this and leave your comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you.
Elect Asiwaju Bola Tinubu says, just as his predecessor to be, President Muhammadu Buhari, the battle line is drawn between himself, his administration, and corruption. He was speaking in Rivers State at the inauguration of the Magistrate Courts Complex, and one of the ways he said he would get the trophy is to make corruption unattractive by taking the welfare of judges and workers very seriously.
Don't expect your judges to live in squalor, to operate in squalor, to dispense justice in squalor. This is part of the changes that is necessary in our policy think tank. If you don't want your judges to be corrupt, you got to pay attention to their welfare. let's think value for value. If I don't have consumer credit, and you want me to pay for the car I needed at once, 5 million, 6 million, driving temptation to corruption.
Meanwhile, a former Catholic Archbishop of Abuja, John Onayekon, is suggesting that the May 29 inauguration is suspended until the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal gives their verdict. And reacting to both development now is Okoliko, who says, "We can learn this from Kenya. The next electoral amendment should make room for a law mandating all electoral matters to be determined before swearing in. This is the best way to go. Barring any change, Tinubu's presidency will begin on May 29. Oluwaseun says Obasanjo, Yaradua, Jonathan and Buhari were all sworn in as president when their cases were still before the court. Since 1999, the declared winners are sworn into office in order to avoid a vacuum whilst the cases are in court. Don't let us create unnecessary constitutional crisis." And more reactions coming in from Unwachine Melu says, "If no be corruption, how else can we afford $11 million houses in London?" So we are now taking reactions to that of Tinubu in Rivers State, where he said that he would make corruption unattractive. So Daniel Rega is also saying that Buhari promised to fight corruption before he assumed office, but look at how things turned out. Tinubu is promising the same, whereas he was declared president-elect after a biased election, and majority of the people he's working with have questionable characters. What a joke. Matthew says, "Share you dey wine me," is like Pablo Escobar promising he would make drug business unattractive. Made in Lagos tweeting says, "He is correct. Making corruption unattractive will solve Nigeria's 70% corruption problem." Now, it's no longer news that the first batch of evacuees from conflict-hit Sudan arrived to Nigeria late Wednesday via the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport here in Abuja. Now, since their arrival, many posts on the social media have suggested that the evacuation was done by military jet C-13, that's the NAV aircraft. For many people, the private airline that was available for the airlifting deserves to be mentioned too. And even more, this has shaped a conversation on the social media, and reacting to this is Victor, who says, Abike Dabiri, is it that you don't know the airplane you boarded with the evacuees? Do you really need to lie about this? Did your jet C-13 replace their seats with those of Air Peace? Anuno is saying that first you sorted evacuees by state of origin in order to choose who to leave behind. Next, you bring them back to military jet with Air Peace interiors. You are doing well, Lou. Twali. And then Gandhi is saying that, wait first, so a NAV jet would use Air Peace headgear? Haba now, you guys should at least hide your incompetence for once now. Give the man his accolade and stop grandstanding, Jerry. And more reactions coming in from Sunday Blaze is saying that commendable effort by the Nigerian government for the safe evacuation of the first batch of Nigerians from Sudan. Thank you for prioritizing these citizens and carrying out your responsibility. We sincerely hope that Nigerians are safely evacuated too. Well done. Now, while this was trending, I needed to have a clear picture of things, so I reached out to our aviation correspondent, Funke, to pick her brain on the actual state of things, and she told me this. The operation is better put as a government-assisted evacuation. Now, Air Peace aircraft that was on the ground was a 281-seater, but it carried an extra one person to make it 282, right? So, for the Nigeria Air Force plane, that's with registration number military jet C-13, which you may have seen, its capacity is 70. But because the Egyptian authorities said no Nigerian must be left behind for any reason, not even for space sake, the NAF 70-seater had to compress 94 persons. That's 24 extra. The two flights came in minutes apart, and that's because the military had left before the plane, the private plane left. So between government-owned NAF with 94 persons and a private aircraft with 282 that volunteered, I can't exactly say why it is what it is right now. However, from reactions, there are suggestions that it is always pertinent to give people their flowers, like just acknowledge people's effort. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And to our final story today. The Nasarawa State House of Assembly has directed area court judges in the state without degree in law to either go to school and get a degree or lose their jobs. Those concerned are given a 10-year window to do the needful, get a degree, or you lose your job in 10 years. Austin is reacting to that, and he says you may be shocked that most of them don't have up to 4 credits in WAEC without English language, English literature. Yet they got admitted into the university to read law. That is what happens when you lower the bar for some and raise the bar for others. Quota system. Unwa Justin is saying that soon their name will be on the list of Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN, for Senate screening and President approval. Chris Azubuike is saying that you can be an area court judge, Sharia court judge, or magistrate without legal education. And JB is simply saying that if law degree is not necessarily required, why are they now being told to get one? And then trying to help our understanding is Jubis, who says, please, you all should get the fact right. Having a law degree is not compulsory in certain jurisdiction before one can become a judge of lower court. Example, area court, Sharia court, and customary court. In the current situation, the state intends to change that, change the position. That's in Nasarawa State. And to our final story, let's begin our final story today with this trending video on the social media.
Okay, if nobody else knows you here, I know you very well. I know you very well. You are. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. You are a House of Assembly. You are a House of Rep member. You are stupid. You are foolish. You are foolish. You have no woman feelings, okay?
Somebody is mocking something. You guys were not here. I didn't even know. That's why I'm saying he's pretending.
What do you mean by he's pretending? What do you mean by he's pretending, okay? What do you mean by he's pretending? You are a human being like him. You are a human being like him. What do you mean by he's pretending? What do you mean by he's pretending? What he's telling me is that this is a
person I'm going to injure you.
Can you
So that's Tunji Akiosi, a newly elected member of the House of Representatives for Ado-Odu Ota Federal Constituency in Ogun State. And that was an accident scene where he was claiming right after he allegedly hit a hawker to the ground. He has denied and narrated his side of the story, but we take reactions to that story first. Joshua is saying that I'm not surprised. Remember the Senator Abo, who also assaulted staff of a sex shop in Abuja. What happened to him afterwards? The circle continues. Perhaps he will be hailed for being a politician few minutes after that scene and by people who heard of this occurrence. Oluwashina is saying that election winners are not leaders. I can't say it loud enough. People refer to political office holders as leaders. That in itself is a problem. But Yomi is also saying that I live in Ogun State, Ota to be precise, and I can tell you this man is so arrogant and a bully. He's not worthy to be a member of the representatives. I've witnessed him behave his usual hoodlum character in several occasions. I worked as INEC official in Ketu Ward in Ota, his word. But for this other social media user, Also reacting is Austin, who says, but why this lady shouting? The man was just trying to explain what happened and she's already videoing him. I think that woman is wrong because he's a house member doesn't mean he cannot protect himself. That woman should be arrested and used as an example. But for counsel, he's tweeting saying that Tunji is a respected man to his constituency and Nigerians. I know that there is a mix-up. We love him. Now let's have his reaction. But before this paragraph, he said in his press release that the video has gotten to him, people are questioning him and all of that, and he said what happened was that the Oka hit his car and then the side mirror fell to the ground. So the driver came down to say, or was coming down, and then they thought that they were coming to claim damage for them to pay for the mirror. And suddenly the man fell to the ground asking that he's treated. So he gave him options like, we go to the police, we lodge the complaint, go to the hospital for tests to ensure, to see if there's a fracture. If there is, I'll pay the bills. But if there is not, I will make you pay for my car mirror. And then that was why the man said that the moment he heard the second option to press for claims on damage to my car, he jumped up and pleaded with me to allow him continue hawking his wares. He said, now those people say make I lie down, pointing to the direction of the lady who was doing the video recording. Within minutes, everyone who gathered despaired. And he says, I know this is a deliberate attempt to blackmail me, and this will be handled by the appropriate authority.
So guys, I want to use this opportunity to call on the Nigerian people, especially the Nigerian youths. We all should stand up and ensure that our judiciary does the needful. In this election proceeding that is about to start, we should ensure that they uphold our democracy. We should ensure that they defend this democracy. We should ensure that they don't allow Nigeria to collapse, because I wonder what will happen if they should pervert judgment, if they should not do the right thing. Honestly, that would destabilize Nigeria. So guys, you've heard it for yourself. Let me know what you think about all these happenings on the social media platform, and let me also know what you think about the court hearing that is to begin tomorrow. What is your reaction? Are you hopeful that our judiciary is going to do the needful? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you.